So you may recall the work-based learning report we published in February of this year, which was endorsed by ALP and other stakeholders. We're putting in place the resources to undertake key recommendations from that report, such as the review of the learning and development standards I've already mentioned. So there's clearly a great deal of partnership work going on. And quite properly, in my opinion, we're seeking to influence each other with our respective views as we strive towards our common purpose of raising the skills agenda and meeting the UK skills needs in a dynamic relationship. One of the major sources of data the group I previously mentioned will be looking at is the Staff Individual Return, or SIR. This data was collected in the past by the LSE from colleges, and now it's been extended to include work-based learning, adult and community learning, and will in future cover national specialist colleges. This is important because the accurate collection, collation, analysis and reporting of workforce data is vital for the development of an evidence-based policy initiative approach. And if we're going to influence government, that's what we must do. The situation with trainer assessors is a case in point. ALP's own research indicates a potential shortage that could affect the sector's ability to deliver. We need hard data, and with the help of ALP and key stakeholders and the proper analysis, to make a real impact on the planning of funding bodies. And we've already had discussions about this. Working together, we can provide that evidence and strengthen our influence with policy makers. Another crucial source of influence is the participation of work-based learning providers in our project right across England. Back in May, we talked about the Catalyst programme, and I reiterated here, and I want to reiterate here, that the Catalyst programme is equally open to work-based learning as it is to colleges and adult and community learning. For example, Make a Difference project with Catalyst intends to undertake research to see how it can be made more accessible to smaller work-based learning providers using a consortium approach. The Catalyst programme board recently agreed that assessors were in scope for passing on your skills and the business interchange projects, and we will be able to take work-based learning providers and trainers along with teachers and tutors and trainers from other elements of the FE sector on those programs. Our workshops here will provide more information on that for you. Our sector engagement manager, Alan Clark, is keen to do business with you, and he's purposely wearing a very interesting shirt. And if you just stand up, Alan, so we can just advertise you once more to all these people here. It's a pleasure. Turn around, do 12 for us. Thank you very much. He loves it, really. As you know, Lifelong Learning UK works across the 4 nations of the UK. And we're building stronger links with devolved administrations and with the Westminster government. You may be aware of the work that we're doing to have greater alignment among the current professional standards for teachers, tutors and trainers in England, Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland. This is important because we have to have an ability that people can move from one country to the other without any discrimination against them in relation to employment. And we've been meeting with senior civil servants across the UK to facilitate this UK-wide approach to enhance the transferability of skills and cross-border career progression. It's funny old world politics, isn't it? And I've just been listening earlier on to just how influential ALP is becoming in influencing this government, potentially the next government, and if necessary, a hung parliament. Who knows what's going to happen? But we are doing the same. And it's important that where we agree, we possibly do it together. Because it's the alliances that we work together with And if we can get a voice between the demand supply of education training, that will be very, very influential with government. We've been, as you probably have been as well, represented all the major political party conferences, and we've got a great deal of follow-up work to do. But it's important for all of us to achieve influence here, with government and with the opposition parties. I know, and probably you do, with your own exemplars and involvement here, that the consultation with the Conservative Party has been particularly useful in relation to their Skills Green Paper, and that's well received. And that's where that alliance of ALP, colleges, and the alliance of sector skills councils will be critical in the future if we're to bring about something that can actually work on the ground. LLUK has grown about 6 times in 18 months, and our concentration has been very much on doing, and we haven't been very good at telling our story. And that's pretty critical for us. I just knew where I was in the notes, to be honest. You know, one of the greatest dangers in standing up here is actually going off script and then you lose your place. Their flow of information with you. You may like to note our website, which is lluk.org, is now RSS enabled. Now what that is, I'm not sure, but it's very interactive. And if you want to visit that and subscribe to our news feed, please do so, because you can receive that directly to your computer or your mobile phone. The second thing is that we're building on specific guidance for work-based learning providers that I launched at a meeting in May. The range of communication routes to employers and employees across the sector. ALP and other key partners will be invited to make use of these routes, which will include various print and electronic channels, and which is the backing of DAIS. And more information will be available in the next few weeks for that. Just like to thank you for listening to me. It's been a real pleasure to be with you, but I've got a little confession to make. Thinking about coming here put me in the mind of some comments made by, some of you will remember, some of you won't, the great comedian Harry Worth. And Harry was once asked if it bothered him when people in the audience weren't paying attention. And he said this: "It doesn't bother me if people look at their watches. It doesn't bother me if they start yawning. It doesn't even bother me if people get up and walk out. What bothers me is if people get up and walk towards me." Seriously, it'd be a pleasure of mine to talk to you after this, and my colleagues and I would be very keen to share in more detail what we're doing and how we're doing it. Come to the seminars or workshops, and also visit our stands. There's one down here and one in the next hall. Thank you very much for your patience. Thank you.